They say it's not their fault. Yes, it is their fault.
Amber and Leroy Fletcher.
North Georgia residents plead with lawmakers to stop legislation that could prevent them from holding an industry accountable for contaminating their land and drinking water.
I took these photos of our children playing in the creek on our property, and what used to be a beautiful family memory brings feelings of anxiety and fear.
Speaking out during a House Judiciary Committee Tuesday against a bill filed by State Representative Casey Carpenter that would shield carpet manufacturers from litigation involving PFAS exposure, a cancer-causing toxin used by the industry for decades. Amber Fletcher and her husband live a few miles away from one of the carpet manufacturing plants.
If this bill does pass, what incentive is that for them in the future to not ever do this again? I mean, they need to
be held accountable.
Right.
The red dots on this map show elevated levels of PFAS in the Dalton area, according to tests conducted by a law firm that has filed multiple lawsuits against carpet manufacturers. The Fletcher's home is one of them, testing thousands of times higher than the drinking water limits set by the Environmental Protection Agency. The agency says the group of chemicals are linked to cancer, low birth weight, and decreased fertility. When you got those test results, what went through your mind?
My kids. I mean, there's number one, they've played in the water. You know, we've lived off the land.
These forever chemicals were created mostly by two manufacturers.
Representative Carpenter says the intent of the legislation is to redirect responsibility to the chemical makers that made the toxin. Manufacturers like Mohawk Industry claim they were unaware the chemicals were harmful. Carpenter's district includes Dalton, Georgia, the carpet capital of the world.
I mean, at some point, let's focus litigation on the bad actors.
So I thought it was important to say, let's cut to the chase. Let's sue the chemical companies that created this. I'm not trying to take people's right away from being made whole, but I am trying to make it so that it's the most efficient, most economical way for people to get resolution without breaking the bank and there not being any money for cleanup.
This bill creates immunity for...
Some members of the committee seem skeptical of the legislation, including Representative Stacey Evans, challenging Carpenter on whether he knows for sure carpet makers were not aware PFAS was dangerous.
What have you done, Representative, to satisfy yourself that the carpet industry did not have any knowledge, did not have any warning itself, regardless of the manufacturers, regardless of regulation, that dumping into the ground could be hazardous to the great residents of Northwest Georgia? That's my question.
Thousands of conversations since Aaron Brockovich showed up in my county.
Have you personally reviewed any documents, spent time?
I have not personally reviewed any documents. And if you find that there's willful misconduct, sue them all.